Hello there, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. Let's just jump right into what's relevant today. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Welcome to our channel. Folks, if you learn something new from this channel, please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. As you probably know, the Senate Democrats have actually changed their stance when it comes to the $15 an hour minimum wage. I'll let you know exactly what's going on. Also, I'll share with you something that was referred to by an experienced investor out there as a biological Patriot Act. Yes, yes. And by the way, this topic, the Biological Patriot Act topic, is going to be somewhat controversial, but I'm going to try and keep it as in the center as possible, and I'll let you be the judge. But I will let you know what this celebrity said and what the interpretations are when it comes to our future as well as the future economic recovery of our country. Let's start with this article on your screen. This is a headline from CNN. Senate Democrats drop the proposal to penalize companies for not providing $15 an hour minimum wage. This was reported by CNN. As always, you'll get a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Now, here's the thing. As soon as the Senate Democrats found out, because of the Senate parliamentarian, that the $15 an hour minimum wage was not going to be allowed within the budget reconciliation bill, they went to a plan B, which was taxing large companies and large corporations if they did not pay a certain minimum wage, $15 an hour, as an example of that particular number. And this got a lot of pushback, this got a lot of blowback, and now it seems that the Senate Democrats are willing to walk away from that. And if you've been following my channel, I've said this for a long time, the $15 an hour minimum wage was going to end up on the chopping floor, and indeed it did. According to CNN, if they cannot find, they meaning the Senate Democrats, if they cannot find an alternative rate hike to fit into the budget reconciliation bill, which they're trying to pass in the next couple of weeks, they will have to try to pass such a plan through regular order, meaning 60 votes would be needed and not just 51 votes, which is what's going to happen with the budget reconciliation bill. Now, just to give our viewers and subscribers an idea of what to expect in the next 48 hours, in short, you can expect a lot of drama in the next 48 hours. What's going to happen is this bill, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, could get on the floor of the Senate for a discussion as early as Wednesday this week. And what's going to happen is the Senate bill, the $1.9 trillion bill, could be debated on as soon as Wednesday this week with a marathon voting session on amendments. So we can expect to see the Senate session going on late into the night. And this is a process in the Senate called Vote-a-Rama. And potentially this could drag into Thursday. So keep in mind, this timing is still open. This is kind of in flux. But we are going to see a lot of drama, a lot of shenanigans on the floor of the Senate as different senators try to create amendments in this bill before it passes the Senate. Keep in mind, this is expected to pass the Senate because it's a budget reconciliation bill, and all the Democrats need is 51 votes. They need every single Democrat to vote yes, including the conservative Democrat Joe Manchin and the Democrat from Arizona, Senator Kristen Sinema, and then they'll get the tie-breaking vote from Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, I want to be as clear as I can, and you have heard me talk about this on our channel. First, you have a package or a proposal, then that becomes a bill. That bill has to pass both the House and the Senate, and once the same bill passes both the House and the Senate, it goes to the President's desk for signature, and once the President signs it, that becomes law. Now, here's the problem. If the Senate this week is going to make a lot of amendments to the bill, which they will make amendments to the bill, and I'll keep you updated in terms of all the amendments. So please make sure you click like, you subscribe, you enable notifications so that you get our notifications. If they do that, this bill will then go back to the House because the same bill has to pass the House as well. So the House will vote again on the amended bill and pass it. And then once that same bill has passed both the House and the Senate, then it goes to the President's desk for signature, and then when the President signs it, that's when it becomes law. So there is going to be a fair bit of drama, and the minimum wage component is something that has really aggravated the Democrats as they try to pass this bill. Speaking of minimum wage, you see this tweet on your screen from Heather Long from the Washington Post. Heather points out that something happened at McDonald's when the minimum wage went up. So this is very interesting. Number one, McDonald's simply raised the price of certain sandwiches like the Big Mac. So that I thought that was super interesting. There was no link between higher wages and more touch screens. In short, just because the wages went up, McDonald's didn't say, oh, we don't need, we need self-service kiosks, and, we don't need people. We need to cut down on people. That did not happen. And number three, this is super important. None of the McDonald's stores closed. So What Heather Long is essentially saying is that as minimum wage goes up, companies will simply start raising the prices of certain goods. And Heather's post was based on this article that you'll see from the National Bureau of Economic Research. Now, keep in mind, we'll provide you with a link to all of these articles in the description section below. And so this article highlights minimum wages and price pass-through as it pertains to McDonald's restaurants. It's a very interesting case study of how corporations are likely to react if they are forced to raise their minimum wage, either through a federal mandate, if it's a new law, or through increased taxes in case they don't pay their workers a certain minimum wage, which is an indirect way to force them to pay higher minimum wages. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think large corporations will behave a certain way and raise rates, or do you think they'll just let people go? I believe that large corporations will find ways to pass on the increased expenses back to their customers, but small businesses that have razor thin margins, that rely on local relationships, that have a small local network of customers, I believe smaller businesses will struggle a lot more with the minimum wage. I'm not trying to say that a higher minimum wage is bad. I'm just trying to highlight the differences between how large corporations will react and how smaller local businesses will react, because at some point the minimum wage is going to be raised. It has to be raised. It has not been raised for over a decade. And in the meantime, everyone, here's a tweet on your screen from Chamath Palihapitiya, who used to work at Facebook and is now a billionaire investor and an angel investor. He has essentially started many SPAC companies, special purpose acquisition companies, and I've invested in many of those companies. They are basically startup companies. And Chamath says this: a biological Patriot Act is coming. New York, Europe, and many others will soon require proof of vaccination. Anti-vaxxers, meaning those who say I'm not going to get vaccinated, will have a difficult choice: get vaccinated or get discriminated. Boy, oh boy, folks, this is a pretty strong comment. And the reason this is important is I got my second Pfizer vaccine shot today. And I went ahead and got the vaccine, and my whole family got it. And that's what we are choosing to do. You can do what you want, but this is a very interesting comment from Chamath Palihapitiya. Get vaccinated or get discriminated, because we're looking at essentially a biological Patriot Act. Remember, the Patriot Act was designed to protect the country, but a biological Patriot Act could result in situations where travel can be restricted, not just local within the country, because states have specific requirements like New York, like Chamath mentioned, but international travel could also pose a problem. And Chamath's tweet is based off of this article that you see on your screen from TechCrunch: the European Union to propose a digital pass for COVID-19 vaccination test status to help safer travel. In other words, there's going to be some sort of a digital mechanism for them to verify that you've been vaccinated in order for you to go to the European Union or travel within the European Union. And this could be a sign of things to come. My brother lives in Australia, and I was supposed to visit him. My entire family was supposed to visit him and his newly born daughter last year in March. And we got the tickets and we made the reservations and everything, and we had to cancel all of it. In order for my family to be able to travel to Australia, I believe we're all going to need a digital pass, because the European Union is doing something that all other countries will start doing. But more specific, more local, more regional, more national to our country, you have to ask yourself, could we see a future in which travel to different states could be restricted? Could we see a future in which employers may require proof of vaccination? And that is the Biological Patriot Act. Whether you agree or disagree is one subject, and don't blame the messenger. I'm quoting an article here, so don't blame the messenger, but this is something we all need to be aware of, and I believe that this is something that we'll now face in a new world as we get towards the end of this pandemic. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something new. Let me know your thoughts about the Democrats' latest moves abandoning the $15 an hour minimum wage, their plan B, if you will, to try and force a higher minimum wage from corporations. And I believe that corporations are smart enough, they're managed very well to be able to absorb a higher minimum wage, because we had an example, a case study from McDonald's. Let me also know what you think about the Biological Patriot Act as pointed out by billionaire angel investor Chamath Palihapitiya. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.